Patriots take the stand. From shore to shore, we reclaim the land. Grit and glory in every strand. In Jersey Shore, we make our stand.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Jersey Shore podcast. That is SURE, because we are always sure. Brought to you by the great America's Pulse Network. I'm your host, Damon Galdo, and I have a great guest coming on again tonight, which is awesome. Elena Barbera. I'll introduce her after the monologue. I know we got the breaking news up here, but I'm going to skip over because I think this entire episode is all about breaking news. It really is. So, I mean, I just want to say, let's stop lying to ourselves. I mean, weakness does not create peace. Weakness creates predators. Every time a society decides it's too polite to enforce laws, someone else decides it's open season, and we've seen that across the country and across the globe this past week, and that's a serious problem. And it's never the activists or the politicians, pay the price. It's the working families. It's the elderly. It's the small businesses. It's kids walking to school through neighborhoods where criminals know they won't be touched. And then right on cue, they slap a label on the truth. I was thinking about it earlier, like social Darwinism, as if acknowledging reality means you want chaos. No, chaos is what you get when you refuse to enforce standards. Chaos is what you get when consequences disappear. A civilized society is not about survival of the fittest. It's about restraining the worst among us. The soft on crime policies are not compassionate. They're cowardly. They protect criminals and abandon victims. They turn law enforcement into paper pushers and courts into revolving doors, and they act shocked when violence explodes. This isn't a theory. I mean, this is cause and effect. I mean, peace through strength isn't a slogan. It's a law of civilization. Every stable society in history understood this. You have to draw clear lines. You enforce them, and because of that, most people never have to cross them. Freedom only exists when order exists. But when we've been sold a lie that accountability is oppression, that punishment is injustice, that criminals are the real victims, and what happens? The real victims get buried under statistics and press releases while politicians, congratulate themselves for being humane. Here's the reality that they don't want to admit. Incentives drive behavior. When crime is rewarded with excuses, crime increases. When laws are optional, the most aggressive take control. When authority collapses, violence rushes in to replace it. Strength is not brutality. Strength is restraint backed by force. It's law that actually means something. It's consequences that actually happen. It's leadership that puts innocent people first instead of worrying about headlines and hashtags. Accountability is not tyranny, not at all. It's the price of civilization. And the moment society decides it would rather feel virtuous instead of practicing virtue, as you would say, then be safe, it doesn't become kinder. It becomes more violent, more divided, more dangerous. Weakness begets violence. And pretending otherwise is how civilizations fall. So I'm Damon Galdo. Let's be honest. Let's get back to common sense. This is the Jersey Shore podcast. So I want to introduce our guest for tonight, Elena Barbera from The Base Mother. Hello, Elena. How are you doing?
Damon, thank you so much for having me. I am bursting with emotion and frustration and questions after everything that's happened, and you just summed it up really well. It's been a wild few days.
Yeah, it has been. I mean, everything I've been seeing on the news, it's just amazing. One thing after another. And that we're going to cover in all these segments, the Hammer segments. Anyway, I got to keep on the Hammer segments for Seth, because Seth named that for me. He calls me the Hammer. But no, it's nothing to laugh about. I'm just trying to lighten the mood a little bit. But it is very dismal what's been going on. So one thing we want to get started with, I want to pull up Rob Reiner about him and his wife, being brutally murdered in their home, and I believe they have their son in custody. Is it?
Yeah.
Is that weird?
Yes. Their adult son, he's 33 years old. He's been arrested, and I believe he's being held. I read he's being held on a $4 million bond for the murder of his parents. And I just heard, I don't know if one or both of them, but this was extremely violent. There was like at least one of their throats have been slit. I mean, this is unimaginable as a parent, anybody. I'm sure even you don't have to be a parent to be freaked out by this.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's nuts. I mean, I mean, obviously, if the son did do it, obviously had some severe mental issues. I would say. I mean, I don't know. When you have a crime like that, it's more crime. Usually, the person or you're closely connected or related. It's a crime of passion for some reason. So I don't know anything about it. I'm not going to go further into it. Like I know what it's about until more details come out. But one thing that you and I talked about earlier that really pisses me off is, it's Donald Trump. Now, Trump, I like Trump, voted for him. I like what he's doing. I like the stuff that he does. I like that he trolls people, makes fun. I like when it's time to do it. But let's pull up this True Social post from Donald Trump, which this one pisses me off. Trump should not have done this. It wasn't the time or the place. So
you're gonna read that?
Yeah. Well, it says a very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, tortured and struggling, but once a very talented movie director and comedy star has passed away. Together, sorry, it's small on my screen, but together with his wife Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with the mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome. Now, I'm not even going to go any further. Like, what everyone else can read if they want. Like, what does Trump derangement syndrome have to do with the murder of these two people? I mean, the very first line should have been it. The very first line should have been it and ended.
Well, I actually wish you had read the rest of it, but because he then goes on to talk about the wonderful achievements of the Trump administration, and how Rob Reiner couldn't see it, and for this it was, I have supported Trump since the minute he came down that golden escalator. I have been on his team, and I'm still on his team politically, but I can love and support the president and also be completely disgusted and angry with him, and that's where I'm at today, because. This man was almost murdered himself. He was almost assassinated not that long ago, and his own children had to cope with that. And I can't imagine how they felt knowing that their father almost died. And then to think of that and then not have compassion for Rob Reiner's three surviving daughters who are now coping with the fact that their brother murdered their parents and not have compassion for that situation and somehow make it about himself and his presidency. It was absolutely atrocious. And, and this is why people hate him. This was the worst. I think this is the worst thing he has ever said since I've been following him.
I agree with you. 100%. When I didn't even know he said it until you sent it to me earlier today. And I was completely pissed off about it. I was not just pissed off, like completely disappointed that our president would say something like that and make it about himself when a family was murdered, mother and father were murdered, and like you said, their three young daughters still alive, and it was most likely, allegedly, the son that did it.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. I mean, seriously, I don't know. I don't know what else to say other than that. I know he's an ego and he's full of himself, but there's a time and a fucking place. I mean, seriously, never for what he said. But if you want to agitate somebody and talk about TDS and Trump derangement syndrome, and you want to troll somebody like maybe Hakeem Jeffries to put a hat on his head,
Yeah.
AI, that's fine. I'm okay with it, but not this. This is, yeah.
No. Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle are lying in a morgue, waiting on getting an autopsy. And you're talking about politics and making it about how he had Trump derangement syndrome, and that probably contributed to his death. Like absolutely appalling. I'm just appalled. And there are people. So I've been like kind of bouncing this back and forth. First of all, a lot of people, when they first saw it, said, this can't be real. This has to be a fake. And I'm like, no, it's real. He put it up on his Truth Social page. The screenshot I took that I'm sharing with the world is one I took myself. And so there was that just disbelief because it was so appalling. But what I'm appalled by is there are a lot of people on the right who are like, oh, who cares? The way they made fun of Charlie Kirk's death, who cares what he says? And I'm like, the way they made fun of Charlie Kirk's death was also appalling, morally depraved, and repugnant. And for us to use that as justification for acting the same way it makes me sick to my stomach. That these aren't people I want on my team. I'm upset.
Yeah. No, I am too, and it's almost like I remember when I was younger, my father would got upset with me with different things, but it wasn't just when he said he was upset. He said, "I'm disappointed," and I am completely disappointed. It makes me feel worse than being upset. I'm completely disappointed in the man that I voted for as president for saying something like that.
Yeah.
At this time, I really am.
Yeah, it would have been a really, really great opportunity for him to calm the country down, because we're going to go through all these stories. But Saturday we had the service member shot and U.S. civilian shot in Syria. We had the Brown University shooting. We're watching the Sydney shooting. I don't know, just a little side note, like a Sweet 16 in Brooklyn on Saturday night. Like there was a mass shooting at it. And I don't think anybody died, but kids got hurt. Like and then this Rob Reiner thing. And then today, Luke from General Hospital died. Like there's so much like just coming at us. And he could have said something about Rob Reiner that said, at this time when we've been hearing so much bad news, to have this on top of it, as a nation, please join me in praying for peace and prayers to the Reiner family. No, instead he said that. Atrocious. And I can't even imagine what JD Vance. I wish I could have seen JD Vance's face when he found out about that.
I know, because
I think he's a better man.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I'd like Trump's policies and what he's trying to do for the country, but sometimes the shit that he says, it's like, all right, man, like really, not the time, not the place, not ever. And
not ever.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah. Anyway.
So speaking about the other stuff that you're talking about, we're going to cover all that stuff in this segment. Well, so we can bring up the first clip and we can talk about it as it goes on. This is what happened in Australia, and it's another tragedy. So there's the gunman and this brave guy. His name is Ahmed Almed. I hope I'm saying that right. He takes the gun from one of the shooters. It looks like the father, because it was a father and son, from what I'm told, what I'm hearing on the news. But he doesn't shoot him. And I'm assuming he's not shooting him because of the strict gun laws in Australia. If he would have shot him, he could have gotten in a lot of trouble. But he put the gun down. But that was a brave soul to do something like that. And then you have a guy who just comes and throws this. I don't know what he threw it at the gun. I don't know what that was. But then you see the sun up here too. I mean, this was just a horrible terrorist attack on the first day of Hanukkah in Australia. And it's a shame that this is going on everywhere. I mean, this is what I said in the monologue. How you need to shut this shit down. The peace through strength. And I mean, look at all these people that were there. I mean, having a good time and enjoying the holiday, and they're all running from the beach. And it's another thing. It's another sad situation. It's horrible.
Though that man, first of all, I want to just obviously commend him for his bravery to just with his bare hands attack a gunman. That could have really gone very very badly for him. The other one, what did he throw? A grapefruit? They're not allowed to buy guns for self-defense. You can buy one for hunting. You have to have what they call a legitimate reason. And self-defense is not a legitimate reason to legally purchase a firearm in Australia. So you leave your entire population as sitting ducks, and lunatics can still get guns. And then the police, they it was like 10 minutes of shooting before they went in. And like, how can you see that and then still justify taking away Americans' guns? You know, if that was in Florida, not as many people would have died. And that's just a fact, because there's people with guns. There's always a good guy with a gun. There's a gun within like 10 feet of you in Florida, everywhere you go. It really frustrates me that those Australian people are defenseless.
Yeah, no, I hear you there. And let's play this next clip real quick and take a look at this one.
On the bridge, one under the bridge, just start to shoot for 20 minutes. They shoot, change magazine and just shoot. Simple as that. 20 minutes was 4 policemen there. Nobody give fire back. Nothing. Like they are froze. Like for it looked like 20 minutes. Like, and they shoot. The guy change magazine. I look at him all the time. I was with 2 of my babies under me, and I look at that. And it's just rifle and a pistol, and just shoot.
So there you go with that one. It seems like the police didn't even do anything. They were froze. They were afraid. And to your point, other people don't have guns in Australia. There are strict gun laws there. If it was Florida, somebody who had a gun, that guy we just talked about, he was brave as hell going there unarmed and trying to take the guy down, taking the gun out of his hand. That was amazing. But that's why it's important to have people that are legal gun owners carry guns. That's why I have mine, and that's why I have my firearms license, and so I have my license to carry. Because I can't tell you how I would react in a situation like that. I'm pretty sure I would try to, I would help. Would I be scared? Sure. But I would do something about it. And there's a lot of people out there that want to protect their families. Especially my wife and daughter and my son were there. Of course, I would try to do something. And I just don't know why the police didn't react. Maybe they're not used to it, because the guns are so controlled in Australia. They're not used to it. I don't know how the heck those guys got guns, but they did.
Yeah, they must have said they were for hunting or whatever, but I know they weren't. Let's just, the guns aside for a second, because my head's going all over the place. What is the psychology of a father and son murder team? Okay, like, I know we can't even wrap our heads around this. Like, do you have any idea, like, even just to make up some crazy idea of how it is that comes up? Like, or just having a catch one day and say you want to go murder a bunch of Jews at their Hanukkah celebration?
I don't know. All I know, my son and I, we had snow here yesterday. I know you're in Florida, you didn't get any snow, but I took my son out on the sled and on the quad, and I towed him around, all the grassy area full of snow. Never did it cross my mind to say, "Hey, son, let's go murder some Jews." What kind of mentality do you have to have for that? And that's another thing. That's why you have to have. That's why I say weakness begets violence. So you have to be strong. You have to stop somebody from coming into your country that, just like a United States, we had a wide open border. You have 18,000 terrorists, they're saying, that probably in our country right now. They just thwarted an attack that was going to happen at the new year. FBI just came out and said that too. You never know what's going to happen. So you have to have, you can't be weak. You have to be strong. You have to stop this stuff, because or else if you're like a lefty liberal like Australia is, big time. That's why I said it in the monologue about making things okay and not being strong. You're going to get run over. Things like this are going to happen, and you can have compassion, but for people, but you have to be strong. You have to say, no, I'm not letting. You have to vet everybody. I don't care if it's going to hurt someone's feelings. I don't care what it is. I don't know. I know how I would react, and I just say, I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care about your feelings. All right. I think safety for my family, your family, everyone else's family that are good people is more important than someone's feelings about saying, okay, we're just going to let these people in because it's the right thing to do. Well,
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a big part of the problem. So these guys it's just coming out. I don't have a lot of details that they were connected to ISIS. They had, can you still hear me? Because I'm frozen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you froze for a second. I can still hear you. There you go.
They did have, ISIS connections. Well, I'm sure we'll get a greater investigation into exactly how deep those go. The father's dead. The son is in critical condition. So hopefully he lives so they can get more information out of him. As far as, this common sense that you're talking about, just taking a look at where people are coming from and what their likely life is, what their likely ideology is, and then welcoming them in, inviting the wolf into your home. It's like inviting an arsonist into the house after you've put your kids to bed. What are we doing? So they did that in Australia, and we did that here in the United States. There are thousands of known terrorists in the United States. Those are just the ones that the government knows about. Biden, they were there. This has been going on for a long time, but it all increased during Biden and Kamala's reign of terror. And what we're seeing in Sydney, Australia, and what we're seeing around the world is any minute is going to be happening here in the U.S. Now, in Paris, they announced yesterday that they're canceling their the New Year's Eve celebration on the Champs-Élysées because the violent crime, largely due to migrants in Paris, has become so uncontrollable that they don't feel safe allowing 1 million people to come to the city center as they did last year and for many years. What's going to happen here in the U.S.? Are we going to cancel the Times Square ball drop? How much more do our lives need to be affected? But they're going to still find places to hurt us. I worry about children in school buses. I worry about concerts, sporting events. If I was a terrorist, wouldn't these be things that you would go after to terrorize a community? And we opened our eyes because we have suicidal empathy. And more than half the country is still going to come after something like this and say, oh, no, now the Muslims' feelings are going to be hurt.
Yeah, well, I could give a shit whose feelings are going to be hurt. I worry every single day when my kids go to school because there's school shootings all the time. I worry all the time when I take my son to or my daughter to practice, whether it's field hockey or street hockey or whether it's lacrosse, because we go to fields where the whole township is there. I mean, tons of kids from everywhere. I mean, there must be probably 1,000 to 1,500 people there playing on different fields. And I look around and I watch. I'm like, man, it scares me. Like somebody could just walk on the field and just start shooting just because they're crazy or they're terrorists. And that's not how we're supposed to live. I mean, we're not supposed to live like that. I mean, I get it. There's always a threat for something to happen, whether it's an accident or it's going to be an evil person out there somewhere. But when you allow all these people to come in, undocumented and not vetted, and bring people in that actually let them in and hate this country. I mean, look what happened to the National Guard. I mean, we brought someone in from Afghanistan, and we'll talk about that in the third segment, though, too. And I was going to play the. I mean, look at this guy. I want to play this clip. This guy that was actually shot in the head when he was there.
What was happening, where the gunfire was coming from. I saw blood gushing in front of me. I saw people hit, saw people fall to the ground. My only concern was, where are my kids? Where's my wife? Where's my family? I survived October 7th. I lived in Israel the last 13 years. We came here only 2 weeks ago to work with the Jewish community, to fight anti-Semitism, to fight this bloodthirsty, ravaging hatred.
That's why you're here.
That's why I'm here. We've lived through worse. We're going to get through this, and we're going to get the bastards that did this.
Tell me, did you see the gunman?
I did. I saw at least one gunman firing. Looked like a shotgun, firing randomly in all directions. I saw children falling to the floor. So elderly I saw, invalids I saw. People just, it was an absolute bloodbath, blood gushing everywhere. October 7th, that's the last time I saw this. I never thought I would see this in Australia, not in my lifetime.
On Bondi Beach.
On Bondi Beach, of all places, this iconic place.
Your children, your wife.
My children, my wife is safe, thank God. They're okay. They managed to get away, but I didn't know.
Yeah. So imagine what the thoughts on his mind, learning about his wife and his children, what was going on.
There are people who are saying that he's a crisis actor, and that there's the likelihood that he was in October 7th, and then also in Israel, and that he was there and got hit, and then the first thing he would do is take a selfie of himself, and like the conspiracy theories take over immediately, and they may be true. Conspiracy theorists have a way of so very often seeing the truth, but we don't know yet. And either way, if it's true or not, him and other people went through exactly what he just described. Not knowing where their families were, or jumping over their children. That 87-year-old Holocaust survivor died in that shooting at the beach, shielding his wife. A 10-year-old girl was one of the victims. It's I kind of think part of the calling him a crisis actor is just an anti-Jewish distraction. But
I think we have a lot of that. I think we have a lot of that today. Everyone, listen, as always, everyone's flawed. It's like everyone's attacking the Jews right now and saying they're behind this and behind that. They're doing all that. They're like pulling the strings for everything. I mean, maybe they are in some aspects, maybe. Okay, but they're being attacked online like crazy. I mean, the anti-Semitism is there. I mean, they're getting shot, in Washington D.C. That happened a few months back. Now you have this. Yeah, I mean, there's multiple different things that are happening to the Jewish community that people are attacking them because it's all the stuff that online. You see the anti-Semitism, you see the pro-Hamas and globalized intifada, which means annihilation of the Jews from the river to the sea, right? And the thing is, too, I don't agree with everything that the Jewish people do. I don't agree with everything Catholic people do. I mean, shit, I was so pissed off when I found out that they were hiding priests that were pedophiles. I mean, it's not, but not everyone is perfect, but Jesus, like they're being attacked like crazy, and Catholics are too. I mean, it's like any religion is being attacked well by certain religions, as you would say.
Yep.
But at this point, I mean, a weakness, it doesn't produce compassion, but it produces chaos. And moms see that first. So what do you think from the mother's perspective? Like who pays the price when adults refuse to draw lines? Is it mostly the children? I would say probably.
In ranked order, I don't know, but the children pay the price. Society pays the price in a huge way. The whole family pays a price when we don't draw lines. When you don't draw lines with your children, they grow up to be, insolent, entitled, spoiled brats who think that everything should go their way and can't handle any sort of, discipline or structure or conflict. And we see that we have a massive societal problem with that. People aren't able to think things through. They just believe whatever's thrown in their face without, giving it any critical thought. I don't know if I'm answering the right question, but I know as a mother, I can say that this breaks my heart to see all these people being murdered for, just for nothing, really. And, for this radical, in this particular case, this radical Islamic hatred that's creating nothing but chaos. It's not solving any single problem.
Oh, you're right about that. Well, listen, we went a little long on the segment because there was a lot to talk about. So we'll take a break. The next one will be a shorter one. I have one clip to play about Syria, and so let's take a quick break, and we'll go into that.
America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. The America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. APN's The Pulse, hosted by Alexandra, Damon, Elena, and Seth. So tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X/Twitter, Rumble, Truth Social, Parler, Facebook, and YouTube. Join the revolution, because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hammer number 2. Here with myself and Elena Barbera from the Base Mother, and we were just had one kind of a rough segment. It was kind of upsetting with everything that we talked about, but I'm sorry, I don't want to be doom and gloom, but that's what's been going on in the past
What
week.
else is there to talk about? It's all doom and gloom right now.
I know, exactly. So I have another clip I want to play. This is what happened in Syria. Two of ours were killed over there through another terrorist attack. I believe it was Iranian that did it, or someone connected to ISIS as well. But let's play the clip.
Identities of the service members will be withheld until 24 hours after their next of kin have been notified. Updates will be provided as they become available. So just as we suspected, Mike, the shooter was an ISIS gunman. Some news there from CENTCOM saying it was a lone gunman who ambushed this patrol. From what we've been hearing from the Pentagon, this was a partnered patrol between American and Syrian forces. Remember, you have a new leader of those Syrian forces now, a new president of Syria who is just at the White House last month. The goal of this increased partnership with the Syrian forces is not just to keep ISIS down, but to keep Iran out of Syria, which for decades under the Assad regime used Syria as a forward operating base to move weapons from Tehran to Beirut.
So there we go. Another terrorist attack on us. Did you hear anything else other than that? That's the only clip that I grabbed from it. I didn't know if you heard any more.
I actually haven't heard the updates. I haven't heard about their identities yet. I don't know if they're out there, but I have not seen them at all. Actually, I'll just look it up real quick. But I just know, and Donald Trump said, there will be serious there will be serious repercussions, and this just got buried very quickly, because then we had the Brown, we had the Sydney, then we had Rob Reiner, all like just one after the other. So I did just find it. Sergeant William Nate Howard, who was 29 years old, and Sergeant Edgar Brian Torres Tovar, who was 25 years old. They were the ones killed. They were part of the Iowa National Guard. And then there was a civilian contractor whose identity has been kept private. He was working as an interpreter, but that person, to the best of my knowledge, was also a United States citizen. So a 25-year-old and a 29-year-old lost their lives from a Lone Ranger.
So my question, I always question myself, like, how far do we go? I mean, they were the segment of peace through strength. And if you want peace, you have to show strength. But at what point, where do you start? Where do you stop? Because when things like this happen, whether it happened in Australia, whether it happened here, whether it happened in Syria, but it's against the United States or your citizens or whatever it may be, I always think about in my mind. I'm like, well, how far do you go? Where's the line? You know, because I think it's so blurred now. I struggle with that all the time. I don't want to see a civil war here. I don't want to start a war somewhere else. But at some point, you have to literally bully somebody down and tell them to sit down and shut up. And don't come at us, or you're going to pay for it.
Yeah, it's not just a political dilemma; it's a moral dilemma. Donald Trump is, blocking new migration from a list of like 30 countries, many of whom are these places where there are terror hotbeds. So that's a start. But what do we do about the ones that are here? That they're here, we can't locate them. Are they being hunted? I could understand if the administration isn't telling us, yes, we're hunting them. Because, they don't want the hunted to know they're being hunted as aggressively as they are, even though I'm sure they're aware of it. But I really hope that they are being hunted, with the same ferocity that, other just like regular criminal illegal aliens are being hunted. Because these people, many of them may be here on visas. They may be illegal. We have to root them out. And, because not only are they a problem, then we have the other problem still of these revolving door prosecutors and judges who are just letting violent criminals out on the streets. We have plenty of Americans committing the most atrocious crimes, that we have seen, setting people on fire. That girl in Savannah, Georgia, the other day who had that like battery acid or some chemical compound poured over her head, and she's got second and third degree burns all over her body. These are just like normal occurrences now. So where do we draw the line? I think we just go as hard. We as a government, we have to go as hard against it as we can, and as citizens, we have to be more diligent. And I also don't want to get to civil war in the streets, but we got to start using our heads, and we got to start teaching our kids some common sense, and we got to push our elected officials and our police forces to step it up.
Well, I mean, but if you look at what happened in Sydney, that guy that grabbed the gun, like he could have shot that guy. I mean, me personally, if he was shooting people and I got the gun off him, I would have shot him.
I would have shot him. He could have had a handgun, an automatic handgun in his pocket. Like, how do you know he wasn't just going to pull out another gun? Shoot him, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But people are afraid, just like police nowadays are afraid to shoot somebody because they can wind up going to jail. Look what happened with George Floyd and any other story I can. Daniel Penny or whatever it may be, and they just jump all over people that actually try to do good. And well, I'm not saying Derek Chauvin was doing good. I don't think he was a bad cop, but I don't think he should have.
I agree. I don't think he should be rotting in jail for murder.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he made mistakes, but not for. I don't think he should have got charged with what he got charged with and rotting in jail for murder. No, not at all. But people are afraid to do that. They're afraid of it, and that's why I brought up the guy in the city. Like he had the gun on him, and he could have shot him. I personally would have blown the guy away right then and there, but people are afraid to do that. So I don't know. I mean, we have to change laws, or I just say people need to toughen the frig up. You know what I mean? And stop being cowards. I mean, there is a line that you have to draw. Like, okay, you can't go too far. That's why I was asking the question. Like, where do you draw the line? How do you go before going too far? But you have to like poke your chest out and really say enough is enough with this bullshit. Because we're losing ourselves.
But when we try to do that, right, as a society, we have half the country going, you can't say that, it's racist. No matter what you do, it's racist. And then you have activist judges and prosecutors who are putting, fighting with lawfare, even if they're wrong, even if they don't have a legal standing, they're putting speed bumps in the way of getting a lot of the cleanup in this country done. So, it's this fight is just so overwhelming, and it's a bigger fight than just politics and immigration and terrorism. And and mentally ill people. Like just as a side note, got to say this, forgot to say it before, Rob Reiner's son, killing him is a perfect example of here we as a nation, we have become too politically correct to lock lunatics in the asylum. That's not cool. That's not nice. They have feelings. And we are watching lunatics wreak havoc on our communities and in this family now. That kid should have been locked up. He busted up their guest house, I guess, at one point in some big giant rage, like, busting TVs and punching through holes in the walls. Lock him up. So we're too soft, and we have too many people who are too soft. I don't know how we're going to get out of this. I think America's going to get very bloody very soon.
So yeah, it may. So with that, we're going to take a quick break to the next segment, and we'll talk about accountability equals civilization.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Jersey Shore Podcast. You're here on with Elena Barbera from the Base Mother. Thanks again, Elena, for coming on. It's always great to have you on. I know we're talking about some doom and gloom stuff right now, but that's the way it's been all week. So this one, this Hammer segment, accountability equals civilization. And people need accountability, or we're not going to be civil at all. So people need to be, if you break the law, you need to go to jail. If you do something wrong, like my child, they do something wrong, they need to have a consequence for it. Now, that's how people learn. You can't just be soft on crime, like I said in the monologue, and just let people out and say, oh no, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. No, that's how people learn. I mean, people are more instinctive, like kind of like animals. If you think about it, if you go down to the raw form of it, it's like having a dog and training it, and the dog pees on the carpet instead of going outside. Once you train the dog to go outside and use the bathroom, it's the same thing. People are the same way in a way. I mean, I'm not saying we're that stupid, but I'm just saying that there has to be some kind of consequence for doing something wrong, and we lost that. I see we lost that in this country completely. And we reward criminals, and the victims are the ones that are bad people. It's like, oh no, you can't be. He didn't do that on purpose. She didn't do that on purpose. We got to let them go. They made a mistake. No, they freaking stabbed me and took my wallet. They threw gasoline on me and burned me on the train. I mean.
Yeah, to be on the side of the criminal in these cases it's mind-boggling, and that's we're told in from thousands of years ago in the Bible, that this being on the side, yes, be fair to prisoners, be humane to prisoners, but do not morally be on the side of the criminal, of the thief, of the murderer. That in itself is a sin. We know this. And everything in this that we've been seeing in our society, I feel like in my lifetime, it started in the 80s. Remember when we were little and they started talking about self-esteem? Self-esteem became, like, I'm a little older than you, became this like hot topic, right? And it was like, all the psychologists on the TV were talking about it. And it morphed into this over the decades. It's morphed into this self-idolatry thing. And I'm more morally sound if I have empathy for this criminal, to the point of justifying the criminal's actions. It was a slippery slope of broken morality. And we're seeing, really, really crazy results from it. And I'm scared about what's next, because I don't think we ever imagines that we'd be where we are right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I want to play this clip. This is from Brown University. I mean, this is the stuff that you get next. Is people that go and just randomly shoot up schools, whether it be a high school or college. And let's roll this clip.
Providence police! Hands! Stand up, hands! Hands! Providence police!
Everybody's hands! Hands! Everybody get your hands! Hands! Just keep your hands up for us. Obviously there's something going on. We're here to help you. Just listen to what we have to say, okay? All right, breathe. Anybody hurt? No? All right, just listen to our commands. We will get you out of here safely. Is this it? Is this the group?
Guys, if you have your bags, your phones, go grab it now. Quickly,
Go, quick, go.
and orderly, fast. Let's go.
Let's go.
Good job.
Grab your stuff. Hurry up.
It kind of, I don't know. It was kind of freezing up on mine a little bit.
It's fine on me.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, that's like the new norm.
But not for nothing. How did they know it was the police? Like, it could have been the gunman walking in and saying, "The police, everybody stand, hands up," and they all could have been just like,
yeah, I guess. I mean,
maybe I don't know. Maybe they had more information from their cell phones or something. But I'm watching this, going, "Oh, it's very trusting." Just stand up.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, I don't know. They were in police uniforms, so it's like
no. But they were down. The kids were down. They couldn't see them. They could only hear them screaming.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know. Just none of it. Yes, this is the new norm.
Yeah.
Or it feels that way. I mean, statistically speaking, it's not. But it does still happen far too often. How are these kids gonna go back to school? And the gunman's still on the loose.
Yeah, and they still can't find him. I don't know. If I wouldn't send my kid back to school when it comes to loose. You don't know what the motive is. You don't know. They're saying that he most likely maybe attended the school or he knew something about it because the way he got in, what doors were unlocked and how to get in there. But Pete Sykes just said nothing makes sense, Elena. So
true that.
Pete's been stand down orders. Yeah, he's been sending a lot of stuff in the chat. I guess the chat's working because it hasn't been working in a while. So anybody else out there, make sure you like and subscribe, and you can chat and make a comment or ask a question, and we'll be able to see it. So it looks like it's up and running on X anyway. That's where it's coming from right now. But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I'm sorry because I'm involved in politics, but I want to take this to politics and how they normalize stuff like this. And I played this clip on Friday, and this is amazing what Benny Thompson said. I couldn't believe it. I played on Friday, got to play it again. So let's just roll this clip.
Madam Secretary, you and the gentleman from NCTC reference the unfortunate accident that occurred with the National Guardsman being killed.
You think that was an unfortunate accident?
I mean,
it was a terrorist attack.
Wait. Look, I'll get it straight. Then you can
He shot our National Guardsman in the head.
Look, Mr. Chairman, will you direct the witness to allow me to ask my question? It was an unfortunate situation.
That's just bullshit. It's like unfortunate accident. The guy drove from whatever state he came from, I forget, but drove and intentionally shot National Guardsmen in the head, and it killed one, and the other one's still fighting for his life in the hospital. And unfortunate accident. They play that, and they play these games all the time, and they downplay everything and say, "Oh well, no, this, that, and the other." No, that's why people need accountability equals civilization. That's why I named the segment that, because this is really pissed me off. That's why I had to play it again.
I hadn't seen that, and I thank you for sharing that. But that is infuriating that he would do that. But this is I'm just seeing a battle. The battle of good and evil is playing out. And he so calmly says this unfortunate accident. And then when you get mad at him calling him that, you're the bad guy because you're angry. And this is the game that they play. And these people, and I don't care who thinks I'm crazy for saying it, are taken by evil. They are the devil's footmen. And they lie, they deceive, they twist words, they rename things. They renamed a terror attack an accident. Yeah. There's nothing accidental about that. It's not even close to reality. But when he gets his clip that he shares with his followers, his supporters, who will never see the actual truth, they will say Republicans are just making a big deal. It was just an accident, because they'll never get the facts. Like it's infuriating. And the best thing that we can do is to just keep telling the truth over and over and over again. And hopefully one by one, pick them off one by one, the people who believe this stuff. Hopefully something will get through and support for this lunacy will fade. But then again, I don't really see that happening. I see the evil ramping up.
Yeah, well, I mean, back in the day, I would say if any politician said something like that, their career will be over immediately. I mean, it's lunacy. I don't get it. The unfortunate accident. Like, I wanted to jump through my screen and choke them out. Like, are you kidding me? Like, we lost one of our own service members, and the other one's fighting for life, and you call it an accident? Like, it infuriates me. It really does. But so we're coming to getting to the top of the hour. So we have one more segment. We got the Patriot Loser Award that's coming up. So we're going to take a break, and I have to play a clip for you too that I played on Friday. You're going to love this, what New Jersey's doing. So let's just take a quick break.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. The America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. APN's The Pulse, hosted by Alexandra, Damon, Elena, and Seth. So tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X/Twitter, Rumble, Truth Social, Parler, Facebook, and YouTube. Join the revolution. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Hammer 4 again, here with Elena Barbera from the Base Mother. And this is the last segment. It's usually a quick one. It might take a little bit longer because I got to play this clip for Elena, what's happening in New Jersey. But first, this is where I give the Patriot and Loser of the Week award. So let's go with the Patriot first. Let's get that one done.
The Jersey Shore Podcast presents this week's Patriot Award. Gianna Galdo.
Well, that was my daughter, Gianna. She had her first winter dance, and I gave her a Patriot Award because she had a play where she's in band too, and they played the national anthem, and it was cool. I couldn't play the whole clip, so I just figured throw a picture in there. But that's my princess, Gianna Marie. So, so the Loser Award of the Week award goes to
the Jersey Shore Phil Murphy.
Oh, shut up!
Well, I guess our great producer had to play loser like twice because he's a double loser. Governor Phil Murphy, who's getting termed out, and the reason why he's the loser of the week, and I have to play this clip for you. These are the lame duck bills that you're trying to push through in New Jersey before he gets out of office, which is insane. Now, basically, most of them are Mikey Sherrill's and Phil Murphy's as well, but they're trying to push them through real quick. So when Mikey Sherrill gets in office in January, said, I didn't do it. So take a look at all this shit that you're trying to push through. That's why he's the loser.
So without further ado, here's the 10 crappiest bills in New Jersey. All of these could get jammed through in the next few weeks unless we stop them. Bill number 1 puts prison inmates wherever they want based on their gender identity, not their actual biological sex. And guards must use whatever made-up pronouns they demand. Gee, let's put the most violent men in New Jersey into women's prisons. What could possibly go wrong there? And what about the furries that identify as a cat or dog? It seems unfair to them. Do local animal shelters have to take them in? Bill number 2 lets 14-year-olds get mental health treatment with zero parental involvement. Our state already shuts parents out of so much with their children. This bill kicks them out of the room entirely. Stop the erosion of parental rights. Bill number 3 forces every homeschooled child and their parents to meet with the district every year for wellness checks. That's the government knocking on your door to check on how you raise your kids. And who determines what is good wellness and what is bad? Big Brother? Bill number 4. This lets 16 and 17-year-olds vote in school board elections. These are the same dopes running around going 6-7 everywhere they go. They're still living at home with mom and dad rent-free. But they can now vote on million-dollar budgets and decide curriculum? Come on. Bill number 5. This gives full taxpayer-funded health coverage to illegal immigrants. Many of you saw my report on the cost of illegal immigration in this state. It's already pushing over $7 billion. With roughly 900,000 illegals in New Jersey, this number would go up billions more. You're already struggling with your health care costs, but Democrats want you to pay even more to subsidize people here illegally? Bill number 6. It bans police from even working with federal immigration authorities. It's a copy of the Attorney General's already disastrous policy. In fact, he did such a bad job, even the new governor-elect won't keep him. So why the hell are we copying the single worst thing this guy ever did to the state? Bill number 7. It forces racial and gender quotas onto corporate boards. This means every corporation would be run by identity politics instead of qualifications. We're already getting screwed. How much worse can it get? By the way, how'd you like the new Jaguar or Cracker Barrel rebrands? Get ready for more of that everywhere you turn. Bill number 8 dumps another $100 million into forcing high-density housing onto every community in New Jersey. Democrats want to transform every single town.
So I'm going to roll through this one real quick, and then you can respond to it. Everything that you saw there is completely insane. Now, New Jersey, number 1, they're raising the gas tax at 50 cents a gallon. They're all the bullshit that you just saw, the bills are trying to pass. I mean, it's already unimaginable to live here because it's so expensive. Your property taxes, all the taxes they give you, the exit tax. If you want to leave, they hit you on the way going out. So you're a prisoner here. We're going to punish you while you live here. And then if you want to leave, we're going to hit you on the way out. And then all that bullshit, and they're trying to cram through in the next couple of weeks. It's unbelievable, especially with the kids and with the free insurance for illegals. $7.3 billion we pay already in just the state taxes. People live here goes, because we're a sanctuary state, goes towards illegal immigrants for their health care already, their schooling, their everything. Yeah. So it's going to go up billions even more. I can't stand it.
Look, I know you got roots there, but your kids are in danger in a state like that. This is no different than what's happening in California. California has passed so many anti-family laws that just diminish or destroy parental rights. And, you could say, oh, you could fight it. But when they take your kids away from you because they've convinced your son that he's born in the wrong body, but in these secret no consent, therapy sessions, and you say, no, my son is my son, they will take that child. It has happened all over the country, but it is especially common in California. Get the hell out of there. Get out of there.
They call New Jersey the East Coast California now.
Yeah, it is really bad. The taxes going up, the trans and the women who are going to be raped by men in prison who said that they were women just to get in there. I mean, the violence that's going to come of that, trying to force DEI on private boards, that doesn't even sound constitutional to me. I think it's completely illegal, but every company is going to have to decide, do I want to spend an inordinate amount of money to fight this, or do I just want to leave and go to another state? I don't need this. I can go to Florida or Texas and run my business freely with lower taxes, and at a better cost of living. And I can't see how this is going to go well for New Jersey.
I can't either. And I can't see why other people can't, the ones that voted Democrat this last election. I can't see it either. That's why I do the podcast. That's why I do the radio show. That's why I'm running for office too. I'm just trying to get the message out there. I don't get it. I mean, I don't they put something in the water here in New Jersey. I call it water. I'm from Philly. Other people call it water, in New Jersey. But
water. There's a lot of New Yorkers in New Jersey. Water.
But it's just, I don't get it. I don't understand what people don't see it.
Because they don't run on these policies. This is just what they do once they get in office. They run on fighting against Donald Trump. And that's all the liberals with the crazy eyes see. We got to beat Trump. We got to beat Trump. So that's what they run on. And then this is what they're delivered.
But I just don't understand why. What is the reasoning for the kids to have them seek mental health without the parents' knowledge? Why?
They can brainwash them, so they can trans them, so they can make money on chemical castration. They hate you. They hate you. They hate Christians. They hate anybody that has any sort of ideology separate from theirs. So they can have private sessions where they brainwash your child. Same thing with the voting. Oh, you got to give this kid agency. You know what? That's a slippery slope because, oh, look, we got them voting for school boards. It's not fair that they then can't vote for this, and this. So they're going to have 12-year-olds voting the way their teacher told them within 5 years, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Everything's a slippery slope. It all starts off somewhere. And why the hell should a 16-year-old be deciding who's on the school board? What do they know about life? What do they know about education? They'll tell a homeschooled adult, a parent with a college degree, that they're not qualified to teach their child and make decisions about their education. But a 16-year-old's qualified to decide who's going to run for school board. And it's basically who ran the best campaign and who brought the best pizza for a pizza party at school. I'll vote for that lady for school board because that's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah, it really feels like the inmates are running the asylum here in New Jersey. And
I'm sorry.
It scares the crap out of me. It really does. So
listen, Miami just got their first liberal mayor in 30 years. This woman's taking over soon. It scares me too that the largest city in Florida is now going to have some progressive loon at the helm. How is this? How is this good for our state? I don't know.
Well, I'm going to give it one more shot and run for Congress. And if that doesn't pan out, if I don't get elected, then I'm investing in U-Haul because I'm going to put this state in my rear view because it's getting out of hand. And I just hope people wake up. I hope people watch this podcast. I hope people watch your podcast and everyone else's in Seth's Conservative Corner and Alexander Levine Live, they're in different states, but just wake up because we're declining. Seriously, it's getting scary. It really is.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, I agree. It is scary. And a year ago, we had, we're still
Pete's in Homestead.
Homestead, yeah. Pete's onto something.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for a while. I'll get into that in a second. So go ahead.
Yeah, no, just a year ago we were still riding high from the election win. We were hopeful. We were excited about what was to come. And a year later, I'd say on immigration, Trump is doing a really great job. But there are so many other things that, haven't come to fruition yet. And there's a long list of things that he has done that is going well. But the fact of the matter is the American people still haven't stepped up. Everybody just turned around and said, Donald Trump will fix it. And he cannot. He and his cabinet cannot fix everything. And it's going to continue to free fall into decline until the American people decide to stand up and get involved.
I think you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah.
But,
so thank you for running. Thank you for running.
Yeah, it's not going to be
doing it.
It's not going to be fun.
No, it's not. It sounds terrible, but I'm in your corner.
So thank you. I appreciate that. So, all right. Well, before we go, want to tell everyone where to find you and your podcast? And because we're going to do Seth's thing for afterwards, but if you want to just tell everyone where they can find you, the Based Mother.
Sure. So I'm at the Based Mother on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, all the Rumble, all the places. You can find me there. And, come on, throw down some comments. I want to know what you're thinking.
And you're always on the Pulse on Wednesdays. I know we're not going to be doing the Pulse until after the holidays because it's busy for everybody. I don't think we are. I don't know. We're going to see how it goes. Everyone has something to do with the holidays going on, but the Pulse is usually on Wednesdays, and Elena is always on there, and she's awesome. She loves her bananas. So
we gotta resurrect that clip. That was great.
Yeah. So all right. So let's just go on to the GoFundMe for Seth real quick before we get out of here. So this is the GoFundMe for Seth. He was on my podcast on Friday. Seth Eisenberg, name's Jonah, goes by Seth. Go back to Friday's episode and you watch it. And we always joke around about his rotten foot. And we really got into it about the free healthcare for illegals. I played that same clip, Elena, to Seth. And I said, hey, you've got hospital bills piling up. And look, that's why the GoFundMe's out there for you. And so do I, actually, because long story, I won't get into it. But that's a GoFundMe for Seth. So if you guys have anybody out there, I know it's tough around holidays, but if you can donate 5, 10, 20, whatever it might be, to help him pay for his hospital bills for his rotten foot that he spent a lot of time in the hospital. I joke about it with it's becoming a joke now, but it's serious. It was serious. He almost lost his foot. So, but all right. So, all right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Elena, thank you for joining me again. As always, it was a great podcast, and it was a pleasure.
Thank you. I feel better. I had to get a lot to get off my chest tonight. I'm angry about what the past few days has brought on the globe. It's just been a bloodbath. So thanks for letting me get it out. Yeah,
no problem. Anytime. You always come on Jersey Shore podcast and vent.
Okay, I'll take you up on that.
All right. Have a good night, Elena. All right, guys, sign it off.
Thank you for watching this episode of Jersey Shore Podcast. So please click subscribe on your favorite social media to get notified of each upcoming episode. The Hammer looks forward to your comments on upcoming episodes. Damon, Galdo, and family wishes you a happy holidays and Merry Christmas.